The corridors of the starship Astrius hummed with a low, steady vibration of its engines as it drifted through the Orion expanse. Captain Jaren Voss leaned against the railing of the observation deck, staring at the swirling colors of a nearby nebula. He had been on countless missions, traversing sectors unknown to most human explorers, but this one felt different. There was a tension in the air, almost as if the stars themselves were holding their breath. The Astrius was on a diplomatic mission, sent to investigate a series of mysterious energy readings emanating from the edge of the expanse. These readings hinted at intelligent life that had eluded humanity until now. Jaren had been warned that the unknown could be dangerous, even hostile. Yet, when the shuttle bay doors opened and she stepped aboard, none of the warnings could have prepared him for the presence of Lythera, the alien woman who would change everything. Lythera's appearance was mesmerizing. Her skin shimmered like liquid silver, and her hair flowed in iridescent waves, defying gravity as if it were an extension of the cosmic energy surrounding her. Her eyes were deep pools of violet light, radiating intelligence and curiosity. As she floated down the ramp, the ship's gravity fields adjusted to her form, bending in subtle waves around her ethereal body. "Captain Voss," she said, her voice melodic yet resonant, carrying a tone that felt both commanding and intimate. The translator hummed softly, converting her alien language into human speech. "I have traveled across stars to find you." Jaren froze. "Find me?" he asked, his voice betraying a mixture of awe and confusion. He had dealt with extraterrestrial beings before, but nothing in his training prepared him for this. Lythera approached slowly, her gaze never leaving his. "Yes, you are the one I have chosen," she said. There was no ambiguity in her tone. It was not a request. It was a declaration. "I wish for you to be mine." The words hit him like a gravitational wave. He could feel the weight of them pressing down, making it almost impossible to think. Every rational part of his mind screamed caution. Yet, beneath the shock, an unfamiliar warmth stirred, a pull that was both alien and deeply personal. I don't. Jaren began, but no words could form. He was speechless, caught between disbelief and the magnetic certainty in her presence. Lythera's eyes softened, but the intensity remained. "You do not need to speak yet. Feel. Understand. Let your heart recognize what your mind hesitates to accept." Jaren swallowed hard, forcing himself to step closer. "Why me?" he managed, the simplest of questions carrying the weight of 1,000 uncertainties. Her gaze seemed to pierce through him, seeing layers of thought and emotion he had never revealed to anyone. "Because you possess what my kind seeks: courage tempered with empathy, intellect guided by conscience, and a soul capable of understanding both worlds." The ship shuddered suddenly, as alarms blared across the deck. Sensors had detected an approaching energy storm, a plasma wave the size of a small moon, unpredictable and lethal. The crew rushed to their stations, attempting to stabilize the ship. Jaren tore his eyes from Lythera long enough to shout commands. Lythera moved beside him, her hands tracing patterns in the air that rippled with raw energy. Streams of violet light extended from her fingertips, interacting with the ship's systems in a way the crew could only watch in astonishment. "I can shield us," she said. "But you must trust me completely." Trust. The word echoed in Jaren's mind, and despite the chaos around them, he found himself nodding. "Do it," he said. Lythera's form radiated brighter, her energy intertwining with the ship's systems. The plasma storm raged against their shields, distorting space-time around the vessel, but slowly, miraculously, the storm's energy began to bend and flow around the Astrius. The crew watched in awe as a human and an alien merged their strengths, a partnership that transcended species and technology. Hours seemed to pass in minutes, the storm finally dissipating as the ship emerged unscathed. Jaren slumped against the console, adrenaline still pumping through his veins. Lythera floated before him, her glow dimming to a calm, soothing light. "You saved us," she said, her voice soft now, almost intimate. "Not alone, but with me." Jaren finally found his voice. "Lythera, why me? Why now?" She reached out, her hand hovering just above his chest. "Because moments like these reveal truth. When faced with the infinite, when the universe tests our limits, the heart's desire becomes clear. I have journeyed across galaxies to find someone who could stand beside me, not just in battle, but in life. You are that person, Jaren Voss." The room seemed to shrink around them, the stars outside the observation deck glowing brighter, almost in recognition of their bond. He could feel the energy she radiated, the pull of her presence, and yet, beneath it all, there was a vulnerability, an openness he had never seen in an alien before. I don't know what to say," Jaren admitted, his voice trembling. "This is too much." Lythera's smile was faint, enigmatic, and yet warm. "You do not need to speak. Actions will suffice. Trust your instincts. Let the universe guide you." Days passed aboard the Astrius as Jaren and Lythera navigated both the perils of deep space and the uncharted territory of their connection. The energy readings that had brought them together led them to a deserted planet, where ancient ruins hinted at a civilization that had long vanished. Lythera studied the inscriptions, her fingers tracing the alien symbols. "They too understood connection," she whispered. "Not just with their kind but across species. They survived as long as they trusted." Jaren watched her, struck by a thought both simple and profound. Here was an alien, capable of bending energy and traversing galaxies, yet it was trust, empathy, and courage that defined her as much as her abilities. He realized then that her request, her desire for him, was not merely about companionship. It was a recognition of shared values, of understanding, and of mutual respect. One evening, as the twin suns of the planet set in a cascade of violet and gold, Lythera turned to him. "Will you accept what I offer?" she asked, her voice tinged with vulnerability. Jaren hesitated, feeling the enormity of the decision. To say yes was to embrace the unknown, to commit to a bond that defied reason, species, and conventional understanding. But to say no would be to reject something extraordinary, something rare as the stars themselves. I will," he finally said, his voice firm, carrying the weight of certainty that had grown over their shared journey. "I choose to be yours." Lythera's eyes glowed brighter, the energy around her pulsing in celebration. She reached out, and for the first time their hands touched, human skin against alien energy, a spark igniting that felt like the birth of a new universe. From that moment forward, Jaren and Lythera navigated the cosmos as partners, exploring uncharted galaxies, confronting threats, and uncovering the mysteries of civilizations long past. Their bond became a legend among explorers, a story whispered in the halls of starships across human and alien worlds alike. Yet, beyond the fame and the adventures, the truth remained simple. Connection mattered more than power, understanding more than conquest, and trust more than instinct. An alien woman had asked a human to be hers, and in that request, both had discovered the essence of the universe, not in the stars, but in the courage to say yes. Even as they drifted through the vast expanse of space, the memory of that first moment, the moment Jaren had been speechless, remained etched in his mind. It was a reminder that some decisions, though terrifying, could open doors to experiences beyond imagination. that sometimes to survive the universe you only needed to trust, to feel, and to embrace the unexpected. In the endless void, where galaxies shimmered and stars whispered secrets of existence, Jaren realized one thing. The universe was vast, mysterious, and often incomprehensible. But in Lythera's presence, he had found something rarer than knowledge or power. He had found a partner, an ally, and a love that transcended species, a bond written in the stars and sealed by a choice made in silence and awe. And so, their journey continued, a human and an alien exploring infinity together, bound not just by words, but by the courage to embrace what no one could have predicted, and by a simple, profound acceptance of one another.